I'm Maddie Owen, and I'm a bio major with an art minor. And one of my favorite things in the world is watercolor. I wanted to focus on my home because lately I've been going through a lot of mental health issues, and home and feeling secure and comfortable has been a grounding point for me. And so I wanted to take this project in that direction. Really, I thought the best thing would be to just, for my subject matter, show the things that do ground me in that way and bring me peace and comfort. I'll hear a song or something that reminds me of something like a long time ago, and I'm like, oh yes, I remember me and my brother used to sing that song back in the van. I'm like, how does this make me feel? And then what object or subject matter can I use to portray that feeling? And so that's kind of how I go about coming up with the idea. Angela, one of my classmates, she lent me the photo book albums that she found in a flea market. And I thought they would be perfect for this project since my pieces are very small and postcard-like. They're like little photo memories, so they fit perfectly in a scrapbook. It just allows for people to open it up, feel like they're at home and looking through their old photo albums. The importance of family is huge. It was the big inspiration for my pieces. When I'm going through something hard, difficult, falling on a support system is essential, especially for me personally. I always come back to my family, I always come back home, always.
My name is Kit. I'm a major in medical biology and a minor in writing, and this is my senior year here. I've been interested in art for a really long time, ever since I was young. I've just loved drawing, and I thought this would be a really good opportunity to expand on my skills and do something that makes me really happy. The subject for my piece in this project is bugs. All my life I've really liked bugs. I think they're really interesting and just super neat to turn over rocks and find some bugs under there. I also think bugs are really misunderstood, and that's something I can connect to my personal life, so I thought it'd be really fitting to not only pick a subject I enjoy, but find some deeper meaning in it. I've been really trying to explore different methods and use different materials I've never used before. So I've been using watercolor, oil pastel, just trying to get out of my comfort zone, and I'm actually making things I really enjoy. For me, my stuff with exploring my identity and having people question me, I feel like I can kind of see that with bugs too, questioning their existence. I don't think you should question anyone's existence, just let everyone be who they are, even if they're a little critter.
Everything you've been exposed to, the movies you've watched, everything is in there. And it's a unique voice that nobody else can imitate. Well, when you're an artist, you're the creator. You can do whatever you want, and that's the amazing thing. Certain teachers wanted a tree to be brown with green top for leaves, and I never wanted to follow the rules. Once you realize that anything is possible if you set your mind to it, it's an amazing enterprise. In what other profession do you get to be the inventor? I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2016. I figure the clock's ticking, so I better say what I need to say. I like representational art. It's easier to tell your story with recognizable things. And so anytime they make a work of art, I like to tell them it's never existed before in the history of the world and won't again.
My name is Jasmine Townsend-Ng. I am a senior at the University of New England. My favorite medium to work with in terms of formal visual arts is things relating to sculpture or dimensional art, because I've always liked to work with my hands. When I work more three-dimensionally, I can kind of like express more of the feelings and ideas that I want to present to my audience. I feel like I've always had a lot of really big ideas that I just really didn't know how to express in kind of like a more scientific sense. Art has always been a place to relax from my busy work schedule. It's also not an area that is super confining, so art for me kind of like allows me to express myself in a non-judgmental way. As well as being really into art, I'm also a really big cosplayer, and I love making my outfits and my props from scratch. Cosplay means personally a lot to me. It's kind of like how I was able to find my group of people. It's also like an extension of my sculpture work, where it's kind of like a sculpture and kind of like its own piece of art. One of the things that I really especially love is when people say, oh, you're the actual version of this character. Oh, you actually brought them to life. And it makes you feel good personally that your craftsmanship was able to bring somebody's fantasies to life. Think of like when you dress up for Halloween. You kind of feel like you can mess around with your friends and stuff because you're dressed up. It's kind of like a mask. For me personally, I just love being in that mask because it's a way for me to like get the raw emotions out of my body so that they don't accumulate over time. And so cosplay is kind of an extension of my inner feelings and like my true self.
My name is Willow Austin. I'm a med bio major with double minor in nutrition and art. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Passumpsic, Vermont, and I love cats. Drawing, it's not that good. I'm gessoing this door, and I'm gessoing it so that I have a nice white layer to be able to paint on and sketch my concept on. I will sketch it using the projector that is here located at the art building. And I will project the concept image that I drew on my iPad about 2 weeks ago. And that way I can get the basic outline of my figure. And it will be a bit easier for me to just start painting, and it will be a bit less time consuming. For my final project, I decided to expand and do a full figure of a woman reaching out towards the camera. She is laying down in a body of water. I'm trying to convey a pond and having some 3D elements around her to kind of show the natural world and her trying to reach out of the 2D to 3D. I decided that I wanted to focus on a reflection of who I am as an artist and just kind of like focusing on the unknown of the future. In my final piece, I am focusing on an idea of reaching out, a woman reaching out to something unknown, but obviously she wants to obtain. And in my future, I have other life goals that I want, but they kind of just seem slightly too far out of reach at the moment. But eventually I can get there.
I buy beads in bursts of energy. I just love being able to create jewelry, to kind of put my own twist on that, create my own sentimental pieces. This right here is one of the first pieces of jewelry that I remember making. It's evolved to more complex necklaces and waist beads and bracelets. I love spending a lot of time thinking about the patterns and the symmetry or the asymmetry and the colors and the shapes, and it takes me a long time to really think about how I want it to look. To figure out what jewelry I'm gonna wear, sometimes I'll start with like a skirt or a shirt, and then I kind of build my outfit around that. I love to start with skirts, and I feel like I have a lot of tops that can match my skirts, and I have a lot of necklaces. Look at the beautiful princesses. When somebody dulls my sparkle, I don't take kindly to that. I'm not gonna dull your sparkle while you're dulling my sparkle. That's really sad of you to dull my sparkle when I'm not even dulling your sparkle. I'll up my sparkle by like 125%, 500%, 1,000,000,000%. So, like all my jewelry, everything holds a deeper meaning to me, and especially this ring. I went through something pretty traumatic, at an early age, and this ring just holds a lot of symbolism. The white gold is to symbolize I'm worth more than I think I am on the outside, because, white gold looks like silver, but white gold is worth more than silver. I'm worth more than what I feel like on the outside. The diamonds are that I'm still strong, and the emerald is that there is beauty and vulnerability, because emerald is even though it's a 7 on the most hardness scale, it is actually a very weak and delicate stone. And I don't know, I think about it and I wear it and it makes me feel strong.
I first got into photography. I bought my first camera for myself. It was kind of just a hobby at first, and then it turned into me doing self-portraits for people and senior photos. 2 artists that inspire me are Ansel Adams and Cindy Sherman. I like photographing nature, and I also really like doing portraits. I do a lot of senior sessions throughout the summer. Looking at my work, I hope people kind of take away the emotional aspect that went into it. I really try capturing the moment with all my pictures, and gives a new perspective on life. Biggest challenge I face is lighting, and weather is just unpredictable, and especially if you're doing a session outside, it can be kind of hard to track. I do sell some of my photographs, mostly my nature photos and my animal photos. A piece I'm most proud of is the first picture I ever took was of a monarch butterfly, and that's one of my best-selling photos. A message I want to share through my work is that photography is a form of personal expression, and I really want to capture the moment, especially when I'm doing photograph sessions that include other people. I kind of want to make them comfortable in whatever they're doing and have them lead the session.
I've actually been looking forward to this course since my freshman year. An art major who told me about the course. I've been excited ever since. It's with one of my favorite professors on campus. I know that we get to build our own large body of work, our own portfolio, and then it culminates in a gallery exhibition. I read this article, The Coast of California. A new study had been done that said the blue whales, like their whale song, had gone down by 40% because the water was getting so hot that they didn't have time or energy to speak to each other because they were so busy looking for food. The heat of the oceans is affecting the krill so badly that they can't find any food to eat. And so they don't have the energy to talk to each other or to sing anymore. And there was a really sad quote in the article about how you can't sing when you're starving. And so I decided to draw the whales. I'm basing this particular piece off of a blue whale because the article that I read was mainly about the blue whales and how they're being affected by global warming. So I wanted to focus on the blue whales for this. I know we already have a lot of marine biology students at UNE, so I'm sure people are aware. If people aren't aware, then I would love to bring awareness to the whales because the more people that know about it, the more that can be done.
I've always been fascinated by patterns that I find in nature. Looking at patterns in nature is a good way of learning how to think about systems that we exist within, but we also create for ourselves. My name is Claire Fector-Volk, and I am a marine sciences major here at UNE. When I was a kid, I did a lot of looking up through the trees or looking at tiles and seeing what patterns there were. I have found a lot of inspiration in Ernest Haeckel's work, where he drew a lot of natural forms, really cool scientific illustrations. I really always find it satisfying when you can come back to the same piece and find a little bit more every time you dig into it. When I do get stuck, instead of getting caught up on how I think it's taking shape and how that's disparate from what I originally envisioned it to be, leaning into, okay, what else do I want to add to it? For every bad what if, there's a perfectly just as valid good what if. Just because it doesn't look a specific way doesn't mean it's bad. I'm trying to let things be. Just let them kind of take shape, but also lean more into the play aspect of it without putting the pressure on myself to have it look any particular way.